Hi everyone, this is Teacher Jen from camgush.com, and today we have a new lesson from Essential Grammar in Use book by Raymond Murphy. Today we will finish answering the exercises here in unit number 10. If you can still remember, we were able to answer the first exercises. Now, let's answer the last exercise from this unit. So, if you can still remember, we discussed was and where. So here, we have to write questions from the words given. Plus, we will use was and where. We will put the words in the right order. Okay? For example, these are the given words: late, you, this morning, and why. So we have a time expression, so we can have a clue what tense are we using, but of course we will use past tense. Okay, and we also have the pronoun, so we should know what verb to use. So the question is, why were you late this morning? Why were you late this morning? So the answer is, the traffic was bad. So, as you can see, we use the verb were because of the pronoun you. And also because the time expression is this morning, so that means it's in the past tense. The answer also is in the past tense because of the word or verb was. Now let's go on to number 2. We have the words difficult, your exam. Difficult, your exam. So the answer is, no, it was easy. No, it was easy. So what do you think is a question for this number? Very good, everyone. So the question is, was your exam difficult? Of course, we use the verb was. Also, with the answer, we use the verb was. Now, let's go on to number 3. We have the words last week, where, Sue and Chris. The answer is, they were on holiday. What's our question here, students? So, students, our question is, where were Sue and Chris last week? We use the verb where, of course it's in the past tense, and also because our subject is plural. That's why we use where. Also with our answer, we used where because of the pronoun they. Now let's go on to number 4. Your new camera, how much? The answer is 60 pounds. What's our question here? So, our question here is, how much was your new camera? How much was your new camera? We used was because our subject is singular and it's in the past tense. So, that's why we use was. Number 5. Angry? You? Yesterday? Why? The answer is, because you were late. What's our question here, students? So everyone, the question is, why were you angry yesterday? We used were because the pronoun is you. Also with the answer, we used where because of the pronoun you. Last number 6. Nice, the weather last week. The answer is, yes, it was beautiful. What's our question here, students? So, the question is, was the weather nice last week? We used was because we have the subject and the subject is singular. We're talking about the weather. Also, with our answer, we used was because of the pronoun it, and it is the weather. Okay? So, is it easy to understand, students? Very good. Now, let's have a review. So, if you can still remember, here We talked about these people in the following pictures. We made sentences about them. About what were these people doing at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon? Or should I say, where were these people at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon? So we answered with the sentences, and we said, where were they during that time? In the next exercise, we also use the verbs am, is, are, and was and were. We pointed out when do we use present tense and when do we use past tense of the verb. It's also the same with the next exercise, but here it's purely past tense, and we pointed out how to use was, were, wasn't, weren't. So that should be the positive and negative. And also, here on our last exercise, we practiced on how to make questions from our past tense verbs and how to answer them. So, I hope you learned something from our lesson for today, students. Please review the following and remember all the important points. I would like to encourage you to enroll in Camglish.com's classes because we can definitely help you improve your English skills. Also, remember to review this lesson. Now, this is the end of our lesson. I have to say goodbye now. This is Teacher Jen from Camglish.com saying goodbye and see you on our next video. Goodbye.